I want to talk a little bit about politics here. Let me start with Stacey Abrams. She is trying to box Joe Biden into picking her as the running mate by playing the social justice card. Your thoughts on Stacey Abrams and Joe Biden and the vice presidential nomination?
I don't think she'll get it because she is hard to control. And what presidential candidates want is somebody like Mike Pence, who, you give the Mike an order, he goes out and he does it.
Right.
John McCain learned the hard way with Sarah Palin, correct?
Yeah.
So I would compare Stacey Abrams to Sarah Palin, is not in political terms. They're, of course, different, but in personality, you're not going to be able to tell Ms. Abrams what to do. So therefore,
do you believe
he becomes a little bit? Yeah.
Do you believe that if Joe Biden is the final nominee, which I'm still not convinced will happen, that this time the vice presidential nomination actually really does matter because Joe is, and so who should they pick, or who do you think they'll pick? Does the governor of Michigan really have a chance?
With Joe Biden, there's a chance that if he's elected, he'll just wander off and nobody can find him.
Right.
So that that's a joke.
Right.
Now you're going to get banned.
But I believe it. No, I believe it, man. They'll be like, "Where is the president?
Where's the president? I don't know.
Where's the president?"
Saw him on the lawn. He had a hat on. But anyway, sure, because he's old and he's in decline. I think those are facts, not opinions.
Yes.
So who's ever the second has got to be groomed, got to be up and ready. So I thought it would be Whitmer until she blew up the whole state of Michigan. So I think everybody noticed that. So now I'm looking at he has to go with a woman, and I'm looking at the field and I'm going, maybe Klobuchar. She looks to be the most steady of the crew.
Yes. But will they do that? I mean, they don't seem steady right now. All of the things that are coming.
Klobuchar is in good standing with the Democratic Party. She is not a far left individual, but a committed liberal. She won't buck the party on anything. And so if they want open borders, Amy'd go along. You know what I mean? She's a go-along person. So, I don't think that would be a problem if they decide on her.
What is your idea of how this is going to play with the American people when the Democrats are backing the WHO? They're coming out with real socialist issues. They have, they blocked the aid. We're trying to get, aid for illegal aliens, all this kind of stuff. How is this going to play in the general election? Anybody going to be even remembering it?
It all has to do with the virus right now, because we're talking about distracted people, not people that are listening to the Glenn Beck program and going to BillO'Reilly.com. Right. We're talking about people who don't engage, and what they want is an end to this virus. So with that in mind, I had an interesting conversation with a very high-level government official this week, who will remain anonymous. I don't want to embarrass the person. And I said, listen, I don't understand why the president and the crew doesn't get with the psychology of the American people. They want relief. They want their morale lifted. They don't want a 3-hour presentation where you're telling them maybe you want to sip a little Clorox. That's not doing you any good. So please open professional sports on May 15th. Have the Major League Baseball teams play in the spring training stadiums, no fans, and the NHL and NBA play in their arenas, no fans. Broadcast the games on television or radio. Test the players every 3 days. Is that hard? Am I a genius for suggesting that? No. That would raise the morale of everyone in this country. It would also get the economy in that area back. You would sell advertising. People would be working with masks, fine. Have them in hazmat suits. I don't care. Do that. These are the things you have to do, all right, to raise the morale of the country. But, I'm talking to walls here. I really am, and I'm stunned about it.
So Stu asked me before the top of the hour, before we began, he said, Glenn, I'm taking a personal poll. Do you think the Super Bowl is going to be played on time with the same kind of crowd, the way it normally happens? Now, this is in February of next year. I don't think it will. Your thoughts?
Well, it's a speculative play. I mean, if I had a bet, I would say the game will be played. I think there's going to be some kind of medical breakthroughs here that are going to make it easier to get back to normal. I mean, I'm praying for that, but the evidence seems to suggest that they're doing pretty good work here. Now, maybe they don't get a perfect vaccine, and I know there will be people who don't take it, and that's your right not to take it. Nobody's going to force you to take it. But I think that, the medical people are going to save us. The politicians are not going to save us. It'll be the medical people. Yeah.
The Democrats are still expecting an in-person convention. Is that going to happen?
I think it'll be a mini convention. That if there's some kind of mitigation between now and July, they'll need a month. They'll kind of mini it down. But they do need some exposition. Both parties do to engage people, engage the voters. So you can do things like that. It's just like the Major League Baseball stuff. You can do it on a smaller level and protect people. We have the technology to do it. And so that's what I think you'll see.
What does Donald Trump need to do to fight what is coming when we have unemployment numbers come out at the beginning of the month where we'll see 15% unemployment, the economy, we're going to really be struggling this summer as we get back onto our feet, and the media, as soon as COVID's over, they're going to blame him for all of the problems in the economy, and suddenly they'll care about people that aren't working. What does he need to do to connect with the average person so they just don't hear that crap?
Well, he needs to get some wins, and the sports thing would be the start of that. He needs to get some wins. But I don't believe that most of the American people are going to hold Donald Trump responsible for the COVID unemployment. I don't believe that. I do believe you're correct that the media will try to shove that down everybody's throat. But I don't think most people will. And in the face of weak opposition, because the Democrats' opposition is weak, no matter who they put up there. Now that Michelle Obama has taken herself out, Biden or Andrew Cuomo, the only two viable candidates, neither of them have a built-in charisma like Barack Obama had in order to take on Trump, who does have charisma, whether you like him or not. So, but I'm increasingly frustrated that the president isn't seeing the big picture here, that he has to be the leader and he has to give people hope and he has to give people what he can give them. Open up the sports. That's a start. And then go down the line of what we can do to make the country better. He seems to be wrapped up in the I didn't do it syndrome. You see what I mean, Beck? It's all about I didn't do it. You're accusing me of doing it. I didn't. Get beyond that. The media is never, no matter how many facts you present, going to report accurately or fairly about President Trump. So now he has to take the initiative and give people hope. And if he does that, and the virus subsides by summer, which I believe it will, he'll win. If he doesn't do it, and it's chaos, he'll lose.
Let me add final question. I read your op-ed on, global government and what the left is really celebrating right now and how they're trying to use this pandemic. And I agree 100%. And is it hyperbole to say that if the Democrats take control, that we never recover and are the America that we were founded as?
No. If the Democrats win the White House and both houses of Congress, you only have one thing that will save the country, and that's the Supreme Court. But the vision of the Democratic Party as it stands now is to wipe out traditional America and Judeo-Christian tenets, wipe them off the face of the earth. That is what they want to do. Open borders, progressive education, abortion for any reason at any time, a socialist economy. It goes on and on. And Americans don't understand the danger of that. That you could have, in 10 years, a completely different country. And I think that the Trump administration does not make that very clear. Now, they can't do it in the middle of a pandemic, but certainly they can run on that. Is that the country you want? You want these people? That's a pretty powerful message, Beck.
Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com. Thank you, Bill. We'll see if you've been banned for sensitive issues that they won't define again next week.
No. And by the way, Beck is on BillO'Reilly.com, No Spin News Tuesday, discussing his fabulous new book.
Am I going to be on your show?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That is,
but you are booked
that's fantastic.
on the No Spin News on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be a guest. Yeah. Okay, bring it on, brother. Thank you so much. Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com.